I'm obsessed with the process. I genuinely love entrepreneurship so much that I weirdly like to lose. And I like to lose because I respect the game more than the stuff that the game can buy for me. So yeah, do I think, but it's interesting when you ask about, like the thing that I hear there is, I think entrepreneurship became cool and I'm the beneficiary of that. But I think 20 years ago, a lot of the people in the audience would have not been entrepreneurs, but I would have been. And I don't say that as a razz or a dig to the audience. I just think that what I really want for everyone in the audience is not to be an entrepreneur. And I do have fear that some of the people in the audience are doing the entrepreneur thing because it's cool, because it looks good on paper, it's cool to say you are. And why I fear that is not because they won't be successful, though that stinks and it stinks to lose. It's that if you're not an entrepreneur, like really actually, like a purebred, losing in front of your family and relatives will probably be scary, because really one of the telltale signs of a true entrepreneur is their incredible capacity to fail, at least in the micro. And so, I think, look, one of the biggest reasons I never show, I fly private sometimes, my time's valuable. But the reason I desperately never want to show that is because I don't understand the glamorization of jewelry or cars or flights, because I don't think that is the healthy part of the game. I actually think when entrepreneurs post that stuff, I don't think that's that's aspirational. I really don't. I actually think if you look carefully, it's making a lot of people in this audience and in the world feel bad about themselves, right? They see all these people and they FOMO, it triggers their insecurity. And so I do worry about, as such a capitalist, I do worry about the over-capitalization of the content. But that's always been the case. Long before social media, people bought Mercedes and Chanel bags and moved to 90210 just for the validation. There are people in the world, you know this, who send their kids to certain schools for their own self-worth. And I worry about that. I don't like that. I think you should be doing things for yourself and your family out of the process, not the stuff. Because I think you'll be happier mentally and you won't burn out. And I think that's important. When I tell you that I might wake up one day and stop everything and not even think twice, and I'll make the video and be like, yo, America, the world, I'm not burnt out. I just wanna do this. And maybe like in 2012 to 14 when I made no content, maybe 2022 to 24, I'll be out and maybe I come back like a phoenix. But right now, I want a garage sale full time, or I want to be a stay-at-home dad, or I'm gonna go fully all in on, I've been telling you, well, guess what? I bought Charleston Chew, and I need every piece of my energy to turn Charleston Chew into the #1 candy and chocolate drink and chocolate franchise in the world. So we'll probably be documenting it. D-Rock's still here. We'll probably be documenting it for the documentary in 2 years, but I really can't even take a second to do what I actually do, which is put out this content, and I'm gonna go head down.
But it's like a huge mind fuck, because I'm happy doing it, but at the same time, I'm exhausted.
Where was the green circle a year ago? Show me. Draw it.
Probably here.
So you're happier.
This is the most happy? Oh.
I'm sorry, no, I apologize, you're right.
Probably here.
A year ago?
Yes.
So you're happier.
But I've gained a lot of exposure.
So you're happier?
Yes. Since last year, yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Why? Because you're getting bigger.
Yeah, I'm getting bigger, more followers. People seek me out for more advice.
Can I ask you, how many days a week are you doing 8 p.m. to 2 in the morning?
5, 6.
So make it 3. Let me promise you one thing.
The source of income with this is eBay.
Bro, burning out's a bad idea. Like the way you're talking right now, I've never talked ever once.
Is it weird that I'm happy but exhausted?
No, I think there's a lot of that. But I think you could be happier by being less exhausted.
Okay.
And I don't think you should beat yourself up.
I just feel like if I skip a day, it's 10 more steps I gotta accomplish the next day. That's never gonna get done.
You've put yourself in a bad framework. You want a liberating feeling from the guy that knows and watches,
Yeah.
I think if you didn't do anything for 6 months, not much would happen.
Okay.
I'm being dead fucking serious with
There's
you.
2,000 followers. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Yeah.
Let me say it one more time slowly, because I gotta go. I think if you do nothing for 6 months, very little will happen. It's kind of like working out. Actually, I'm like quite heavier than I've been for a little bit because just a lot going on and just haven't been as tight. And I feel fine with it. I'm not pumped. I'd like to be 10 pounds lighter. 5 years I did it so hard. Last 6 months, not as hard. Not ideal, but not beating myself up because I know that if and when I decide to go hard again, that it will, and I don't feel like I wasted my that's where you're going. I'm glad I did those 5 years, because if I didn't do those 5 years, I'd be 213 pounds and really fucked up. So I get all the benefits of those 5 years, just like you get all the benefits of this. The first thing I would do is, if you were my brother, I'd be like, bro, just do me a favor, 3 days a week. Just that will be so invigorating. I actually would argue that you'll get more done in those 3 days than you're getting in your 5 right now, because you're on tilt.
It's every night till 2. And it's just, yeah, I mean.
You're stuck in a manifestation and a theory.
That I have to do.
Yeah, in a theory, and a wrong theory.
Less is more.
It could be, but what you're doing is not sustainable by the way you're communicating. So what are you gonna do? Just
and
wait.
If I do this for the next 15 years, I'm still never gonna get all the shit that I have to get done.
I want to change the
There goes
world.
my 15 years of life.
Only thing I want to do is change the world and make it more positive.
Right.
I won't get to boiling the ocean. I want to get to 7.7 billion people.
Right.
It's unlikely, but I'm not crippled by that.
Right.
I love my process. You don't love your process right now. That's why you're
Such a grind. and
you're
such a
vulnerable,
grind.
because you don't love your process. Got it?
Yeah.
3 days a week. And so I'm incredibly grateful, because I think a lot of us in this audience, to succeed with emotional intelligence, we either have to get very fortunate and get the luck of the draw of DNA and parenting, or we have to put in a lot of work in meditation, therapy, and living life. And so for me, a lot of times people say, a lot of people that live the life that I lived, which is worked a lot and worked really hard and worked hard, smart, and people will throw lucky at them, right? They got lucky. And a lot of people that in the audience and their parents and me that have put in the work, you get triggered, right? You're like, man, I worked so hard. This isn't luck. You're not working, or you don't get it. But I will say I got lucky when we talk about emotional intelligence. I did get great DNA. I have 2 siblings who have different DNA than I do. And not that mine's better or worse than theirs, it's just that I'm a default optimist. And I believe that if you're a default optimist, especially if you're built like me, where you're also grounded in reality and it's not delusion, that if you're a practical optimist, you're halfway home. And then I've also had the luxury of liking people, spending a lot of time with people, managing people since I was 14, 15. When I was 16, I was the son of the guy who owned the liquor store. And so by de facto, I was managing people at 16. And so here I am 31 years later. I have an organization with 2,000 employees. I have a very public persona, and I interact with people at scale. And life has become very obvious to me. I believe that plenty of people can make money, and plenty of people are not good at it. But there's really no correlation when it comes to joy and happiness and being content to how much money one makes. And I love entrepreneurship, and I love being a businessman, and I love being a competitor, and I love grinding and competing and tenacity and determination. But I like being happier than all those things. And I guess from my standpoint, I was self-aware at a young age. I knew myself. I was willing to be ridiculed because I had self-confidence. And for everybody in the audience, what I mean by ridiculed is, I'm 47, so when you were getting D's and F's in school in the 80s and 90s, you were gonna be a garbage man. You weren't gonna be anything. It's not the world we live in now, where entrepreneurship is a viable, if not over rock starred, capacity and occupation. When I was growing up, the word barely had any traction. And so I got used to losing early on. I was able to build very thick skin. I'm empathetic to judgment instead of crippled by it. And I think it's powerful. And honestly, I've become incredibly motivated over the last decade to talk about these things. And for the people in the audience that are aware of my content, I speak a lot about emotional stuff in the framework of marketing and tactics and business, and I'm proud of it because I think it helps people, and that feels good.